What are some psychological life hacks you can do to give yourself an advantage in situations? I heard this here a few years ago. For anyone in customer service or works for many different situations, but customer service is a big one, put a mirror behind you at the counter. This way, angry customers who approach you will have to see themselves in the mirror behind you, and the chances of them being irrational lower significantly. I guess that means irrationally angry. No one wants to see themselves act like a d***. This is one of the reasons why many bars install large mirrors behind them. The main reason is so that bartenders can see who is there and if any new customers approach at all times, but there are other reasons as well. If you're ever tending a bar and a customer approaches you directly and starts getting upset or angry, just take a deep breath and step slightly to either side and lean on the bar using either your right or left elbow only. If you move your head out of the way just fast enough to break eye contact, they will be briefly forced to stare at themselves. Even if you don't move fast enough, peripheral vision always seems to notice that familiar face. Also, leaning in puts you in a position of power for quite a few reasons. Only the proudest of assholes are immune. I just realised that this has worked on me before. Well, at least that means you're not the proudest of assholes. If you're in a group meeting and you suspect that someone in there might come after you about something, sit right next to them. They were hoping that the group would provide some sort of herd defense, but if you're right next to them, it can't be anything other than personal. This tends to make them back off, or at least substantially temper what they say. Had a job with a huge target painted on my back for years. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. If you ask someone a question and they only partially answer, just wait. If you stay silent and keep eye contact, they will usually continue talking. I have to agree that silence is an extraordinary, underutilized conversation tool. Most people just wait their turn to speak without listening or try to fill the gaps of silence without having a point. If you really want something from someone, frame it as an offer rather than a request. When Teddy Roosevelt was running for president, his campaign printed out 3 million leaflets with a picture of Teddy and a copy of a campaign speech. The campaign then realized they didn't have the rights to the photo. Instead of explaining the situation to the photographer, which would have given him leverage to ask for a lot of money, the campaign made an offer that they would use the picture, giving the photographer lots of publicity if the studio paid them $250. The studio paid the money. This is used quite often against young artists, and it sadly works with many of them. Yeah guys, to any of you young artists out there, always get someone to pay for your work. You know, I know it can be tempting sometimes to just get a bit of exposure, but yeah, you're worth more than that. Late to the party, but if you're playing beer pong and your opponent is playing like he sold his soul to the devil, all you have to do is ask what he is doing with his opposite throwing hand. Damn bro, you're playing hella good. What are you doing with your left hand when you shoot? This will make him conscious of his left hand and he will start messing up almost every time. Drink well, my friends. That's genius. This is a great strategy that works for pretty much all types of sport. When your opponent is flowing, the trick is to get them out of their body and back into their head by asking them about their technique or their process. This is... I'm lost for words. When you first meet people, try to notice their eye colour while also smiling at them. It might be because you look for a second or two longer, but all I can tell you is that people really respond to it. Every one of these, that's pretty good. I keep imagining a socially awkward Reddit user just completely f***ing it up. What are you doing? Just staring at your eyes. They're blue. In sales, though I guess it could be applied in other ways, once you make the sales pitch, don't say anything else. My boss at an old job was training me and just giving me pointers. I was working at a gym trying to sell memberships. He told me that once I got all the small talk out of the way and presented the prices, that the first person to talk will lose. It didn't seem like a big deal, but it actually worked. Often there were long periods of awkward silence as the person tried to come up with some excuse, but usually they bought it. It was quite impressive actually. Chew gum when you're approaching a situation that would make you nervous, like public speaking or bungee jumping. I can't remember where I heard it, but apparently if we are eating something in our brains trip, and it reasons, I would not be eating if I were in danger, so I'm not in danger, has helped calm me a few times. I used to debate with a sandwich in high school. Well, not with an actual sandwich, I bring it for eating. Damn it, sandwich, you're wrong. Foot in the door phenomenon. People are more likely to agree to do a task for you if you ask them to do something simpler first. Gradual commitment is a crazy thing. I've seen it happen and there is nothing you can do. Hey man, can you give me change for $1? When I worked in retail, I had a tendency to get real curt with rude customers. When I realised I was just taking the bait, I decided to be super nice even when they would get openly hostile. Some of them would get even crazier and they looked like tools. Kill them with kindness. Legit. If you get yourself to be really happy and excited to see other people, they will react the same to you. It doesn't always happen the first time, but it will definitely happen next time. The man's best friend effect. So we jump all over our friends and then hump their leg? When you're studying, learning something new, teach a friend how about it. Let them ask questions. If you're able to teach something well, you understand it. This one is so true. I'm trying to learn French at the minute, and when I explain something to my girlfriend that I've learned, it sticks so much better. Promise yourself you'll never talk about other people, even when the people around you are talking even when you agree with the they're saying. You don't have to make a big deal of it, just don't partake in it. Once people get the idea you're not into saying mean about other people behind their backs, the amount of talk around you will decrease. It isn't fun to talk unless everybody's talking. Your decision to stop talking and their eventual reaction to you not reciprocating the talking will positively affect both of you, as well as your relationship. Well, thank you very much for all the beeps. I'm surprised they didn't end that with relationship. There's another beep. I don't know. For me, since I made this change in how I interact with people, the amount of quality of my friendships has grown. People will trust you more if they haven't listened to you gossip about other people. You will be seen as more of a positive person than other friends who do talk. The gap gossiping used to fill will be replaced with way more interesting and or intimate conversations too. I don't know. Just stop talking and be kind. For interviews, I recommend altering your psychological state beforehand. Tell yourself, I've known these people all my life. We're old friends catching up. I can't wait to see them. Visualize the experience, shaking hands, making eye contact, having conversation. What things can you not wait to tell them? Hold an open pose, stand with your legs apart, hands on your hips, and shoulders back while doing this, and smile. This may sound cliche, but you are in charge of your own psychological state, and the power of suggestion is strong. Righto, pop some acid before my next interview. Got it? No, don't do that. People are extraordinarily aware of their sense of touch. If someone, a member of the opposite sex, accidentally rests their knee on yours, let's say they know it's there.